Welcome back to Kind Regards, the show. Our thinking minds, our sort of egoic self chatter, is our thinking minds are cheeky little guys. They love for us to be lost in thought. They love for us to be distracted and caught up in that sort of train of thought. If we return to presence for a moment, it goes, oh, that book over there. Remember that thing about the book? Vroom, train again. Boom, we're straight back on the train. Thought. We don't know that we're thinking. We're identified with thought, and we're off to the races. And our thinking mind loves this because our thinking mind wouldn't exist without it, right? Our thinking mind is vying for survival against mindfulness and presence. And yet our thinking mind is so useful, what are bookshelves if not the product of thinking minds? What are books? What is this video if not the process of the conceptually adept mind, right? That's right. I think I'm pretty conceptually adept. No, I just mean the thinking mind. I'm not saying that this is some kind of sophisticated thing. But there's a great little thing about our thinking minds too, which is that they can be tricked. They can be tricked into serving us. Someone said that the thinking mind is a brilliant servant, but a terrible master. So if we let it run the show, it's going to have us in future thinking. Oh, what if that happens? What if this happens? Oh, I hope that the future goes as I planned. Or it's going to have us in the past, ruminating about the past. We all know this stuff, Oh, I wish I had said this to my sister when I was talking to her on the phone. As if we didn't. It's so stupid. Our thinking mind is, who is it talking to, right? Like, oh, you should have said this to your sister. It's like, you are me, dude. Like, I was there. I know what I said. Like, who are you talking? Anyways, it's stupid. But we can trick our thinking mind by being the master of it. And one of the great things about it is that it loves finishing tasks. It loves answering questions. And sort of continuing down a train of thought. Like once you flick the first domino, the next dominoes kind of naturally fall quite effortlessly. And so this is really great. All we have to do is ask the right questions, and then the answers kind of take care of themselves. The thinking mind sort of provides us with a bit of a smorgasbord, if you will, of potential answers. And so what are the right questions? When I'm in emotional turmoil, I use one from Charles Eisenstein, which is, what is true? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I don't feel good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, how do I feel? Why am I feeling this? And instead of asking those questions, I go, what is true? And then just by opening that door and looking into the unknown, my thinking mind always kind of provides an answer. It goes, you're afraid that you're not good enough. And I go, oh, damn. Oh, yeah, maybe that is at the root of me wondering about the creative projects. Like, maybe I'm wondering if the videos are good enough because I think that I probably am not good enough. And I'm like, whoa. What is true? Yeah, it just opens that door and allows sort of truth to step in and provide something to us that we can then sort of hold and examine and go, that does feel true, or perhaps it doesn't, maybe it's not 100% guaranteed. Another great one is, what's the life task? Where am I hiding out? What am I hiding from? If I'm feeling really like fidgety and like I don't want to sit still and I want to just jump from job to job, or I want another coffee, I want to watch YouTube videos, I'm probably distracting myself from something. So why am I hiding out? What purpose is this distraction serving? So I go, what is the life task? Where am I hiding out? I've got a video about life tasks, by the way, so if that term's unfamiliar to you, you can watch that video. Where am I hiding out? And again, it just opens this door and answers can kind of step in and we can evaluate them. It's a really sort of clarifying question. We've got this sea of sensation, negative emotion, impulses, thoughts, feelings. But one little question can really focus us in, clarify our inquiry, if that makes sense. And finally, I kind of touched on this earlier, but what am I afraid of? Like, what am I afraid of right now? Because it's a great sort of dichotomy that everything we do is either out of love or fear. I've heard this. My buddy says this. He doesn't watch these videos, but anyways, my buddy says this, and it's a really great filter to be like, am I acting out of love right now or fear? Like for me right now, am I making this video because I'm afraid of not keeping up a streak? Or am I making this video because I want to share things with the world? I want to give gifts to the world, because it can be either, right? I fall victim to making these videos out of fear, fear that I'm not good enough. Well, I got to make good videos, instead of love of the game, love of my audience, love of the creative act, love of the process. And so what am I afraid of right now? Or perhaps what's one, how can I love myself? Like these little questions open the door, clarify our inquiry, and we can just see what comes up, right? It's just a jumping off point to see what emerges. And there's great journaling practices that do similar things that sort of refocus our attention. And I looked some up for the purposes of this video, and I found a really great one from a Japanese sort of psychotherapeutic practice, which I'll put the name of somewhere. And there's these 3 questions. Just this is the last part of the video. 3 questions. What have I received from others? Today. These are kind of daily journaling questions. What have I received from others? And so this kind of promotes like gratitude and acknowledgement that we are not an island, that we are being fed. We're inhaling the world. What have I received from others? Well, I'm sitting on a chair that is not my own making, that's nice and comfortable. I didn't make this camera, this thing. All of a sudden we go, oh my God, I'm so reliant on the world, and really so grateful for it. Where would I be if I was actually alone? And all of a sudden we go, oh, thank goodness that people are making food to bring it to me so that I can help people in my work instead of making food and doing my work. Promotes gratitude and thankfulness. The second question is, what have I given to others? Which is a lovely question for enhancing our sort of self-respect, right? We're inhaling the world, but the world is also inhaling us. And smiling to people when we pass them on the street, our unique contribution at work or at university, what have I given others? Well, I've engaged with knowledge at my university today in order to bring more skills into the world. I've multiplied skills today. By learning about molecular biology, I've taken one textbook, and all of us in the class have multiplied that into, 150 students, 150 potential professionals in the field. And so, engaging with knowledge, engaging socially with other people, any kind of contribution that we make, our little blog, tweeting and people are liking it, commenting LOL, calling our buddy and saying like, hey dude, how are you? That's a contribution. That's a valuable contribution. And to say, what have I given to others is a really good way of being like, okay, I'm inhaling the world. I'm grateful for the world, but the world is also grateful for me to be here. I'm also contributing to the world. And then finally, what troubles or difficulties have I caused others, which is kind of the flip side of the second question. And it encourages accountability, humility, and self-awareness, right? So to get back in touch with how intimately we are linked with others and how mindful we kind of need to be in order to not negatively affect people, accidentally or on purpose. I thought that those were really good prompts. Anyways, asking the right questions has been really useful for me the last few days, and I hope that that's useful for you to hear. Thanks very much for watching. Kind regards. I've got a Substack link below where I write articles that are kind of similarly themed, and I scrub them up. They're kind of really polished, and some of them are long, some of them are a bit shorter, and there's 2 really recent ones So I hope you enjoy those if you like that kind of thing. And there's also a a YouTube and a Spotify link rather, so you can get this kind of content the way you like it. But it's great to have you with us. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a really lovely day. Thanks.